Hello everybody, this is Kairos Flame, and tonight I'm going to talk about how Source is our ultimate beloved. Source is our ultimate beloved. And the reason why I'm talking about this is because previously I made a video about why I ran away from my twin flame, and I missed an enormous key part of that. It's probably the most important reason why I ran away from my twin flame. And I didn't touch upon it that much at all. And that reason is the fact that I was so incredibly overwhelmed by the love that was emanating from my twin flame's pores. And I don't mean just his skin. I also mean like the fire that was inside of his soul, the fire that he was breathing, the love that he just was. Okay? And I know that he was emanating this love even before I came into the picture because it was ingrained throughout his life's work. Already he had been doing this for a long time, a very long time, trying to bring in this form of consciousness for a long time. And meeting me, it was just kind of like icing on the cake. It was like boom, like a love explosion for him. And for me, by the end of the night, when I was about to put on my runner shoes and run away, the first night we met, I just remember feeling like my being, my sense of self, which if you'll remember, I really had no sense of self, but I felt like I was being engulfed by him. I felt like literally it was translating to me as, this man's gonna kill me. He's gonna kill me. And that's what I was thinking. And I know it sounds incredibly irrational, but that's what it felt like. I felt like his love, his being was going to engulf mine and I was going to die. Okay? Little did I realize that hours before, when we first locked eyes, when we had the meeting of the eyes, I had died and I was reborn in that moment. I died and I was reborn in that moment of locking eyes with my beloved. Was I conscious of that? No, I wasn't conscious of that at all. Okay? And later down the road, I did have subsequent dark night of the souls and deaths and rebirths, but at that moment I was not conscious of the fact that when we locked eyes, that was a pivotal point of death and rebirth. Okay? So I was so scared of the love he had. Do you all know where the love he had came from? It came from Source. He had that connection, that direct, conscious connection in thankfulness and gratitude to Source. And I was not nurturing or fostering that connection consciously at all whatsoever at that point in time. He was nurturing it in himself. In me, it was a lot like, you know how you have a sleeping twin and an awake twin in a twin flame, quote unquote, union, okay? Well, you can also have someone who's asleep in their connection with Source. And I was asleep in my connection to Source at that moment. And my beloved had been weaving. He had been weaving the connection to Source in his work before we even met, long before we even met. And later down the road, a few years down the road, my beloved and I came into a physical reunion. And by physical, I don't mean our bodies. I mean communicative, where we were communicating back and forth, even though we were in physical distance. And he finally said to me, he said, you know what? You need to stop looking for love outside of yourself. That's your problem. You look for love outside of yourself. And despite the fact that he was very upset in the moment that he said it, it was very much so truth. Because before I met him, it was always, does this guy love me? Does he love me? Am I lovable? And it was always outside of me. I was seeking the validation from outside of myself. I was seeking the love from outside of myself. And in that moment in time, when my beloved said that I was seeking love outside of myself, I was in a state of consciousness or unconsciousness, whatever, where I was awakening, but I was still trying to fit this twin flame connection into a 3D relationship. And I was still like, well, he's not doing this, that means he doesn't love me, and he's not saying that, so he doesn't love me. And it's all of this. Okay? And was I nurturing and fostering the connection consciously to Source at that point in time? I was not. I was not at all. And this was a big part of my problem. I kept looking to my beloved. I kept wondering what he was doing and why he wasn't doing particular things, and, trying to have control over the situation. And I wasn't realizing that Source, God, Spirit, Creator, Source, Energy, whatever you want to call it, okay? I don't care. Loves you more than you love yourself. Loves your beloved more than you will ever love your beloved. Loves your beloved more than your beloved will ever love you. Where do you think the flame that burns so passionately inside of you comes from? Who do you think it comes from? Did you think that it came from your beloved? Did you think that it came from the Ascension soulmate? Do you think that it came from, a regular soulmate? Do you think it came from a heart center catalyst? Do you think it came from you? No. It came from Source. It came from God. That's where this consciousness, that's where this flame came from. That's where this template came from and originated from. And instead of looking towards our beloved and focusing on our beloved twin flame and what they are doing and who they are seeing and, their Facebook page and so on and so forth, instead of focusing on that, it is time to surrender that. Surrender it. It is time to focus on your personal connection to Source. It is absolutely time to do this. This is what we mean by surrender, everybody. It's not, I'm going to let go of my twin flame and not care about the connection anymore and not care about any of that, and I'm going to run off and find a soulmate. That's not what surrender is. Okay? Surrender is, you know what? I trust in Source. I trust in God. Whatever you want to call it. I trust in Spirit. Because Spirit loves me. Spirit loves my beloved. more than we love each other, and more than we love ourselves. So I trust. Surrender is all about the trust. Okay? And once you get to that point of trusting and surrendering, okay, and filtering all of those different emotions through the trust and letting those pent-up things go away, that resentment, that fear, just trust. And you get to that point of being able to surrender, then a path is going to open up. There might be many different paths that open up. You'll just have to feel it out with your heart. Okay? And things are going to get a little bit more easier. And you're going to see and feel a lot more synchronicities happening. And you're going to feel like this feels so good. Why? Because you're nurturing and fostering your direct connection to Source. And that is not outside of yourself. That is contained within the flame that burns so deeply inside of your soul. It is your soul. It is the one who made your soul. It is the one, period. It is the one. Source is the one. Source is our ultimate beloved. And if you continuously look outside of yourself to your twin flame, and you keep looking at them and what they're doing and what their wife is doing or what their husband is doing and what their children are doing and what all their friends are doing around them and all of this stuff, you're going to be stuck. Your energy, your path is going to be stuck. And your beloved will never come back to you if that's the energy you're in, if that's the frequency you're hanging out at as the quote-unquote awakened twin. They're never going to come back. Okay? That path will never be opened if you're looking outside of yourself. So, this is a big issue. I feel like it's an enormous issue that people have in regards to surrendering. Because I think in a lot of ways, a lot of people don't even understand what surrendering is. They don't know what it feels like. I can tell you this, 3 months ago, I was not in the process of surrendering 3 months ago. I thought I was. I thought I knew what surrendering was. It wasn't until I got down on my knees and I had my hands, literally, I had my hands in the air and I said, God, you know what? I'm fostering this connection. I'm nurturing this connection. I see you and I know that you love me more than I love myself. I know that you love my beloved more than I love my beloved. I had to surrender anyways. And here I am in a connection with an awake twin flame who is really super awake, okay? He's wide awake, okay? And myself, who is a runner, turned awake. So I'm awake, we're both awake, and we're in conscious mutual separation, holding the space for each other. We're doing this consciously. It's not, oh, we're dreaming about it or we're telepathically communicating about it. This was a conscious decision, okay, between myself and my beloved to still be in physical separation. Okay? And here I am. I had to surrender anyway. Look at that. I had to surrender. And this was for not just myself, not just my beloved. This was for the connection. This is for the mission, the mission. And that's why I was on my hands and knees. I said, I surrender all of this. Use me. I am ready. I am ready. I don't care if I never end up in a physical union with my beloved. Use me to do some sort of mission. I was begging. And sure enough, that's when I started seeing that the runners needed a voice. The asleep needed a voice. The awakening needed a voice on YouTube. Most definitely. Because a lot of people are not talking about this from a runner's perspective, from an awakening twin's perspective. I have been in those shoes. I have been a runner. I have been in the process of awakening. And I'm still going through things. But I'm awake and I see what's happening. And sure enough, here I am. Is this my main mission? I don't feel like it is. I know what my main mission is. But there's a few other missions that I have to do individually, physically separated from my beloved. And that's what I'm doing right now. And I love it. I mean, I was kicking and screaming coming into YouTube, making a channel. I didn't really want to do it at first, and now it hasn't even been a week. I don't even know. It hasn't even been a week yet. And I really like it because I'm able to give a voice to the ones who aren't conscious enough to speak yet. I cannot speak for them, but I can at least give some kind of feeling, an indication of what some of them might be going through and why some of them ran, why some of them left. So I want you all to know that it is absolutely the utmost importance that you focus the majority of your energy on your connection to Source, not your twin flame. Not at all. Okay? So I'm going to leave it there. I love you all. I wish you all the best. Until soon.